you. Thank you. Well, welcome. Good can I say afternoon now? Oh, not yet. Okay, good morning. 2 minutes from now, I'll say good afternoon and we'll try it again. Well, thank you guys so much for being here today and for allowing me a couple minutes of your time. You know, it's so interesting. You come, you sign up to be a vendor to speak at these things, and you never know what are they going to be talking about that day or what's going to be going on. And so when I looked at the agenda and I was like, oh, this is all stuff dealing with emotional intelligence. So really, you're having a whole day of it, whether you realize that or not. In emotional intelligence, we talk about coaching. In emotional intelligence, we talk about crucial conversations and safe conversations. And we talk a lot about that employee relationship building. So all the topics today are really topics that really fall into that emotional intelligence space. But with the few minutes that I have, I was telling Morgan in the back, I can't just come up here and try and sell you on something. That's not me. I'm a teacher. I teach things. So I am going to talk about my services, but first I'd like us to have a little bit of fun. Is that okay? Can I take 5 minutes and have some fun first? So one of the things that we talk about in our leadership programming, and that's what we do, we're a leadership training company, is we talk a lot about communication. And as we were talking about this morning with crucial conversations, and really it gets to listening, right? I think so often we focus on choosing the right words, making sure we ask the right questions, but we don't often just think about, are we truly listening to the other person? And we talk about active listening and these kinds of things, but do we really understand what that means? So we're going to do a little activity to talk about listening, okay? So I have to put this down, but trust me, I am loud enough. Y'all don't need to worry about that. I know, but she's recording me on this, so I'm good. So everybody with me, put down your food, put down your drinks for a minute. This is an active thing. Arms up in the air. I hope everybody wore deodorant today. Okay, arms up in the air. You're gonna make, we're not doing YMCA, I don't spell. So make little C's with your hands, little C's with your hands. Now put them over your ears. We call this earmuffs, right? So now what I want you to do is I want you to talk out loud to yourself. Talk out loud to yourself. Hum, sing, talk, whatever you want. Just out loud to yourself right now. Go, go, go. Talk to talk. You got to make noise. Got to make noise. I want to hear it. Make noise, make noise, make noise. Okay, and stop. What did you hear around you? You can take your earmuffs off. I love the TCC crowd is like, earmuffs, I'm on it. Awesome. I worked at TCC for 7 years. It's a great institution. What did you hear around you? Wah, 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 right? It's like a dull roar, right? What did you hear in your head? Like, what was loudest? What you were talking about, right? Whatever that was, whatever song you were singing, your own voice. Right now, if you were sitting next to somebody who is loud, you might have just heard them. But in theory, it should be that you heard your own voice. And what if I were to tell you that these filters are things you wear every day, right? We wear these filters every day. Our own voice in our own head is louder than even the person standing up front of here with the microphone, right? We know that from our kids, right? If you have kids and you talk to them and then you go, why don't they ever listen? They're wearing filters. Now what I will tell you is our filters get larger and thicker with age. So you ever hear you can't teach an old dog new tricks? That's not true. You need to teach an old dog how to take off their filters because their filters are really thick, right? These filters are built up of every experience you've ever had. Every experience you've ever had, every feeling you've ever felt, where you were born, your race, your culture, your religion, your background, your politics, all of this build up these filters. And these filters we wear to protect us, to make sure that the things that we agree with get through the filter, and the things we don't agree with don't get through the filter. Now what that means is on average we hear 5 out of 7 words that are spoken to us. I want you to think about that. 5 out of 7 words that are spoken to you. And that's face to face like this in a conversation that you're actually attempting to listen. That's not when you're distracted and not paying attention anyway, right? Okay, 5 out of 7, like this. This right here, you guys are getting 3 out of 7 words that I say. Because part of the time, you're either distracted by somebody around you, which happens, or you're distracted by the fact that I move a lot, right? And so you're kind of watching for me to trip, which can also happen. Or you're just thinking about what you're gonna have for dinner. Or, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we get out early? Right? I'm thinking about that, okay? I'm just gonna be honest. That's in my head. So whatever's in your head is louder than me, which means you're not hearing every word I'm saying, right? Emails, they're the worst. 3 out of 7 words. Why? Because we skim. We don't really read, right? Have you ever gotten that reply that you read and you go, what did that have to do with anything I asked in that other email, right? No, because people skim and they don't read. One of the things we talk about in emotional intelligence is this idea that our emotions are part of this filter. And what that means is when we communicate with each other, whatever we are feeling, we hear their words through that filter, right? So if I'm already upset because at 8:30 I had a crappy meeting with somebody who made me mad, then the rest of the day, every person I encounter, unless I take off my filters, I hear everything they say through that anger filter. And what we know about emotions are they stick with us a lot longer than we think they do. And they live in our bodies a lot longer than we think they do, right? So if you think about a crucial conversation that you've had to have, right? Most crucial conversations last a little bit of time. What's the average? A crucial conversation, how much time you guys spend talking to somebody about something kind of serious, something kind of heavy? How many minutes? 30? 10? 15, right? So let's say 30, because math is not my thing. I don't spell and I don't do math. So let's do 30, because math is easier. So with 30 minutes, did you know that if I'm with you for 30 minutes and we both have an emotional reaction to that conversation, we each need an additional 30 minutes before we can get back to work? We just spent 2 hours of company time for one conversation, right? Emotions take an equal number of minutes to work their way out of our body as they do to work in them. So for every serious conversation you have that lasts a length of time, you need that additional length of time to recover and get back to work. And both of you need it. Even if you were the one giving the feedback and you knew they deserved it, it doesn't matter. You still have an emotional response. So one of the things that we really stress in our programming is this idea of we have to learn to take off our filters. We have to learn to listen to other people, and we have to learn not to take our emotions out on the person in front of us when they were caused by somebody who's not even in the room, right? And I think we take that home. That's my belief. My belief is I have a crappy day, I take it home and I take it out on my husband, and it's not his fault. Sometimes it's his fault, but it's not always his fault. He's sitting back there shaking his head that it's not his fault. I don't know, usually he's not here when I talk about this, so then I can blame it all on him. I guess today I can't get away with that. But I want you to think about that, right? How we use our emotions and how we take them out on people that we don't really mean to. And it's all because they get lodged in our filters, and we have to remember to take our filters off. So I like to think of it as earmuffs. And I just got to take the earmuffs off. I have to listen to the person with the intention of hearing every word they say and hearing it the way they meant it, not the way I felt it. Hearing it the way they meant it, not the way I felt it, right? Very different things. So I'm going to just leave that in your brain, because then you're going to talk about coaching conversations, and this is going to come up again. So I'm just going to leave that in your brain. And we do leadership development. We focus everything that we do on emotional intelligence. So everything that we do is with this idea of leaders have to communicate, and they have emotions while they're doing it. So let's learn how to control those. Let's learn how to manage them, not turn them off, but let's learn how to manage them, and let's learn how to use that as influence to the people that follow us. And so we have a program called Habits of Leadership. I put flyers on the back table. Feel free to pick one up. That's our new supervisor, new manager training program. We offer it in a variety of formats. We can come to you, you can come to us, we can do it online, we can do it in person. We've done it in a variety of different ways. But it's really impactful to give those new managers and supervisors the actual people, human skills they need. Because just that they were, and I talk about this with my deans a lot, so I worked at Tarrant County College for 7 years, and we still go out to happy hour once a month. And one of my deans and I were having this conversation about becoming a dean. And he said, you know, I was great in the classroom with students. Now I have to deal with teachers. Teachers are a pain in the... And I said, yes, they are. I understand this, right? So he said, I don't have the skill set to deal with them. I have the skill set to deal with the classroom. It's not just about deans, it's about anybody that we promote to a manager supervisor position. Unless we give them training, they don't have those skill sets. None of us were trained how to do that. We learned in the fire. And my goal in life right now is to just help other managers not be sucky managers because they don't know better. Let's give them some skills, let's give them some training, and then we can decide if they're sucky, okay? And then we can decide what to do with them. But let's at least give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's give them some training to do that. So that's what we do. I am Dr. Stevie Dawn. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagrams and all that stuff. I'm gonna post pictures from today. But I just wanted to say that I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the work that HR does. I was at HR Southwest this week. And just a reminder to how hard work it is to be an HR professional. So I truly, truly value you. I value what you do. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much. Thank you.